Keon last episode. We were talking about how it had been a minute since we had a full panel. And, brother, you got it. Kyle's back. Keon's back. I'm back. We got a full-ass squad. How are we, fellas?
Doing
good.
Great.
Doing good. Can't complain.
Yeah. Kyle, we were just talking about how tan you look. Tell us where you're just coming back from.
Cancun. I come back from Cancun with my fellow NFL players that have withdrawn from the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
Well, congrats, Kyle. That's big time, dude. Almost as big time as doing this.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. I got some PTO for my boss Ross. Really appreciate that, my man. And had a good time.
I was kind of waiting for the thank you, but I appreciate you just kind of saying it. To start us off, I unknowingly unleashed like a heated debate both on X and on Instagram. I ran a poll asking the question on whether or not UCLA football should return to the Navy accented white road uniforms, really asking the heavy-hitting questions. By the way, for those keeping score back home, it was the final numbers, 46% in favor of switching back to the Navy road uniforms and 54% of not and sticking with the white and powder blue. And we never really formally discussed this with the full panel. Keon, you told me that you're like, fuck the Navies. It's not UCLA. Kyle, I know you're kind of offline. You know what we're talking about? Did you see this post?
Oh, yeah. How could I not? It blew up.
It did do numbies on Twitter.
I saw it, and I'm also in favor with Keon. I think scrap that. I'd say, though, my favorite UCLA uni ever was the LA Midnight jerseys back in like the 2013, 2014. I could just picture Hunley wearing it. Those are my favorite unis of all time. But no, I'm with Keon. Scrap that, and stick with what we got.
I have such an unpopular opinion regarding the road uniforms. Like, I love our home blue, and I love UCLA blue in general. I love wearing the merch. I think it's the best blue out there. It's one of the best colors in college sports. But I just think that the road uniform with UCLA blue, I think Ed Orgeron might have kind of been onto something. It's just a little sissy. The Navy kind of just brought like a bit more edge on the road. It was kind of like, I looked at it as like almost like an alter ego. That when we're on the road and we kind of have a darker shade of blue.
Like
and
dark.
It was sharper. The contrast was better. I just thought it fucking looked good, man. And then, okay, people in the comments clearly don't know that we wore Navy on the road like forever. It wasn't until I think 2006 we debuted light blue numbers on the road, and then we've kind of gone back and forth since. But I just want to say technically I'm the purist here. I don't want to hear shit about me not liking UCLA's agenda and its aesthetic. That's Troy Aikman wore navy blue on the road. Just wanted to clarify that.
I think if we're reviving any sort of UCLA football uniform sort of aesthetic, it's the Clarendon numbers. I think we're all in agreement on that. If we're doing the first thing, it should be that.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another poll this weekend and ask the same question, being like, who's in favor of Clarendon numbers? My guess right now on the record, I would say a little over 80%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weirdos
100%.
that would be against for Lord knows what reason, but I would wager about 82% would be in favor of Clarendon.
Those homecoming jerseys we've been wearing the past few years, those are Clarendon numbers.
Yeah, but that's
mistaken.
But that's because it's a throwback. I think.
But that's a sissy blue. Like that's that jersey's. I'm not too fond of that one. To be honest.
Wow, that's a hot take. You don't like the throwbacks.
I mean, if you're fighting against the sissy blue and that's a complete polar.
Sissy blue on the road. Get it right.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Don't
sissy
put
blue road.
Don't put those words in my mouth, Kyle. One episode back and you're fucking full of confidence.
Hey man, trying to get back into the swing of things.
Dude, I mean, well, fun fact, this is the longest run of a UCLA primary base home jersey, I think ever. Because this has been, it's gone through Under Armour and Nike. This was the, I mean, yeah, they changed the helmet Nike did with the, from the Under Armour green. They changed it back to gold. Thank God. Thank you, Nike. But the base jersey it's the same from 2017. It's remained untouched now. We're creeping up on 10 seasons with it. And then an even funner fact is that Adidas changed, conversely, they changed the home uniform every year consecutively. I think from 2010 to 2016, every single year in that span was a new home jersey. Fun fact.
Just like minor adjustments?
No. Like 2015, they had like tire tread on. Like
I remember those.
with like gold leaf numbers, and then the year before we had Clarendon. That's the only year in the last like 28 years that we've had Clarendon back for a primary number. No, it was like a new jersey every year. I mean, sometimes it was more subtle than others, but there were some big jumps in there.
I think Adidas did a lot like that because baseball, when we were Adidas my freshman year, we had 6 or 7 different uniforms, and that's like unheard of in baseball.
Yeah.
We had like creams, we had pinstripes, we had regulars, we had roads, we had alternate roads. Like we had tons of different jerseys. They would come out with a Jackie Robinson Day jersey. So like I feel like Adidas did a lot.
Okay, I think Adidas I think they get overhated. Like they were
100%.
a hot mess at times, but it was kind of UCLA's hot mess. You know, it was kind of just. I still think of UCLA as an Adidas school.
Yeah, we got some dope gear from Adidas, and baseball is not even really a Adidas sport.
You should see.
Good stuff.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna do it. But if I went to my room right now and got my UCLA track like warm up shirt, talking about hot mess, dude. It was the same year that they were pulling the tire tread with the football jerseys. It was actually that same pattern, but just like way more pronounced. We looked like legit like aqua zebras. It was like full razor wire like stripes, and the UCLA was really tiny. They were doing some crazy shit.
I didn't mind Adidas. I had only a summer in Adidas when I was coming along in terms of like issued gear, but I liked it. I mean, also Adidas and soccer are a way bigger combo than in baseball and track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some other big time news, per LA Times, Ben Bolch, we'll get to him in a second. We're going to miss you, Ben. UCLA receives a $17.3 million donation from a late donor to support football and men's basketball. My understanding is that this is $9 million to football and $7 million to basketball. This has got to be the biggest donation ever that we've got. I mean, at least in 10, 15 years. Like
According to Gemini.
What is that? A
AI?
AI?
Yeah, Google AI.
Yeah, biggest ever or biggest when?
Biggest public record knowing to UCLA athletics, yes. I also heard there was $11 million to UCLA Health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the total was 40 mil.
40 mil to the school. Mm-hmm. I mean, who cares about that? Kidding.
Cancer research.
Yeah. Dude, we need a left tackle.
What I don't understand about all this, like, whatever happened to that whole NCAA board thing that came out was like, okay, we can allocate $21.7 million.
The rev share?
Athletics,
Yeah, it's a rev share.
Is that in place today? Because we're throwing out $6 million figures to quarterbacks at LSU, and it's like, is one player just getting the entire rev share of the entire school allotment?
Rev share, Keon, you know this shit better than I do, so butt in if you want to, but I think rev share is fully independent from NIL and from donations. Yeah. That's a whole different deal. It's just capped, I think, by conference, by conference on what the rev share of like the media deal is going to be. So let's say the Big Ten designates the Big Ten's rev share cap at like $20 million of each school's respective cut. I think it's $20 million. Each school can allot that much. But that's everybody, like a,
yeah.
It's up to you.
NIL will come from the local oil company. That's totally different.
If you're trying to separate yourself and build the best roster possible, you can't rely on rev share.
Yeah,
because everybody's going to do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get this Henry guy involved. I like that Bob's targeting some rich folks.
I think it's also important to know that that $17 million donation is that none of that's NIL, which sucks. I don't think.
Right. That's all for like facilities and nutrition, whatever.
I wonder what
that's whack.
I know. Oh, you thought it was all going to our fucking payroll? That'd be sick.
Yeah. What do we? Yeah. That'd be amazing.
17 million could, among like with what we already have, could probably add on and buy a national championship in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Numbers are just going to keep going up too.
That's what I'm saying. If you add 17 million to like what we currently have in NIL, I think that's enough to buy a national championship.
Yeah.
In the next 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. But not in 10. Like these numbers are just going to keep getting inflated and inflated and inflated.
How about we switch gears to the transfer portal? I think there's some news there to catch up on since our last episode.
Did some things go down over the last few days?
Yeah. The shelf life of that last episode, I'm not kidding. I think it was less than a half hour.
It was really quick.
Like, yeah, on the second, I think the first receiver that we got, or the first commit that we got after publishing the last episode where we were bitching about how bad of a start we were having, was the receiver that you wanted, Landon Ellis.
Landon Ellis.
Yeah. And then I'm like, we just wasted our time and anyone's time that listened to that episode on their commute. Sorry, guys. But now there's a lot more to go over. I mean, it's almost to the point where, like, there's, like, we don't have the bandwidth to cover all of this. Like, this, we need
almost too much.
We need like 3 hours of SBS time to like talk about.
I felt like I was opening up Twitter and there was just a new graphic every other hour. It felt like there for a few days.
Yeah. Since the last episode, I want to say we've added another 30 from the portal. The total's now 39, at least as it was like 2 or 3 hours ago. And then you include like the 13 or 16 from high school that we're adding to the roster next year. Like, it really is too much to discuss. It's a whole new team. It's a whole new staff. So, like, this is like, the program's going to be legitimately unrecognizable in the best way possible. I mean, not possible. Best way possible would be $17 million to NIL. But I think all things considered with where UCLA was at last year, and with the hire it made, what it's done in the portal, with the resources that we figured that this staff has access to, I think this is about, this is right where you want us to be with, 3 days left in the transfer portal, because, man, just massive influx of guys. There are certainly some dudes in this bunch. Don't get it twisted. Like, yeah, sure, could we use another offensive tackle? Yeah, there's a couple more pieces that I think, should they add them, this is going to be like, this is A+ stuff. But just from quantity and bodies and depth with some of the guys in this list, I think that right now I'm talking like A-, strong B+ stuff from Chesney.
Yeah, it's like what you mentioned. It's a little bit of a mix, right? We got areas of need that we needed. A lot of the things you and I talked about, Ross, in our episode last week, it just immediately got addressed within the 1 week.
Like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously the retention, retaining a lot of talent
big time
across the board. That were key impact players from the last season, and who we hope that's going to continue to be impact players coming up. So it's kind of a mix. You're doing great getting people, but you're also doing great retaining the folks you need.
Well, that's why I think some of these like ranking systems, and like, this is probably just me being a little biased, that we've done all this work and still 24/7 has UCLA listed as like number 25. Which is still, fine. But what that doesn't address is like who UCLA has managed to retain, like you just said. Like, that is just as hard, if not sometimes harder, than going out into the portal and getting dudes. I mean, they were able to retain, obviously, your fucking quarterback at Nico, which is huge right there. Eugene Brooks at guard, probably number 2.
Jet Thomas.
The whole backfield's coming back. And we'll get to some of these running backs that we're bringing in a second. I still think Carson Cox, the guy that we got out of high school, he's kind of buried on the depth chart, at least as of last season, because he was a true freshman. I think he can be developed into a really good running back. I think the only thing that we should be concerned about is that there's still 3 days left in the transfer portal, and this is obviously a two-way road. Like, you've got a guy like Carson Cox, or some of these running backs that we have now that we've added. Now that you've got a guy like Wayne Knight, and it's just kind of a loaded backfield. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility for some of these guys that we think are staying could still hit the portal with these last 3 days. Hopefully not, because then this would be another immediately outdated episode in a matter of like 48 hours.
But that's the interesting thing, Ross. It's like you bring in competition, and usually people are running, and whether these people are going to be in the portal, but if they stick it out, it's like, Chesney's like definitely building something. You got guys that he's bringing in from JMU, and you're also retaining players. The pitch has got to be good, and it means that everyone's going to be able to compete for jobs, and it's going to be good when it comes to camp. You're going to have more and more competition versus everyone just leaving, and then guys knowing that they just have a spot, maybe sort of coasting it and things like that. It seems like there's going to be some good competition from within the roster.
Well, he's made that pretty clear in like both to the media and just from like what I've read and heard, is that his first priority when building this roster is to kind of create a landscape of like competition at UCLA and like let the best rise to the top. And that clearly has not been all talk. I mean, look how many like tackles UCLA is bringing in. Like, sure, would you like to see maybe like kind of a crown jewel super high dollar left tackle come in, like, yeah. But bringing in like 4, let's call it maybe by the end of the cycle, 5 offensive tackles and letting these guys compete, like, sure, could you go spend more on an offensive tackle that kind of has that like Twitter wow factor? Sure. But these are guys that, A, you're gonna save some NIL funds on. You're going to allow to compete. Keep in mind, dude, you could always go throw quarterback money at an offensive tackle, and this is the position where guys are super prone to getting rolled up on and getting injured. And that can happen in spring. Yeah. So it's just a massive gamble. And I think that this is honestly probably a more responsible way to go about managing UCLA's NIL funds right now. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I don't think UCLA is, fucking competing with Ohio State right now, can just throw around $6 million for a lineman. I think this is the way to do it from what we're seeing so far.
And Ross, one thing I wanted to add there, especially about the lineman you were mentioning, how many times have we gotten on this podcast when someone goes down and we have to makeshift duct tape this O-line and move people around? It's not the worst thing in the world if you have 4,
bodies.
You have an excess, exactly, of players who've been playing at the Power 4 or even, with the JMU guys in playoff competition that you can really bring them in if you need to give guys a break, if injuries happen. That's not something we've had in the last few years.
Dude, there's nothing scarier as like a supporter of a football team than like you have like your 3rd or 4th offensive line injury mid-season. Then you're just like, who are we going to look to? Like, who's left?
Right.
That's a horrible feeling. And like, you just know that you're not going to win anything significant when you're in that position. So yeah, fill in that room, especially getting guys that can play, guard and tackle. Or if you get a guard, he can possibly play center. That still needs to be addressed, the Sam Yoon thing. Could he develop and get his snaps down? I mean, yeah, but I like that they're getting like who's Riley Rebel. We talked about him on the last episode. He's a guy from JMU who can play guard, or he plays guard. I think that's a guy you could try at center. He's a wrestler, which might sound irrelevant, but what did we talk about last episode? Like, I don't just want big people playing offensive line. You want big athletes, and you get guys that, these are guys that are good with their hands and can move laterally, and I think that just translates really well to football, even if Riley Rebel's not the biggest dude, out in the field. So I think there's still some work to be done on the offensive line, but right now, man, it's so early. You never know where this shit goes, but I'd be
10 games next year.
I'd be shocked if this is not going to be an improved unit from last year. Yeah, let's call it improved. Yeah. Keon,
and they're not done.
No, that's what I'm saying. For all we know, dude, we can get that Colorado guy that entered the portal today. Maybe.
And there was, I was going to say as well, there's a lot of news coming around about the Utah. He's an edge rusher. He's not on the offensive line, but like, he's entering the portal, and we're expected to be really hot into that. You know, Dallin Havea.
Yeah,
I'm butchering that, but like, my point being is that the train is rolling. For all we know, these guys have things lined up, as Coach Bob told me at the Rose Bowl Suites, a couple weeks ago.
All right, insider. Keon, you were talking on the last episode how you wanted fucking receivers, bro. You got him.
Yep.
I think it was Leland Smith you really wanted, the San Jose State guy?
Leland Smith and Landon Ellis. We both were mentioned last week, and
Leland
both
Smith
came to fruition.
That was your poll, dude. You brought up San Jose State, and good on you because we got him. He's 6'4", I want to say like 215. Kind of like, recent memory, we can maybe say Jake Bobo type player, but I'm thinking more like a even taller Jordan Payton. Just like a, big physical kind of high point guy. And I don't know what the reason is at UCLA, but it just seems like we always got good running backs, normally pretty good quarterbacks, really good linebackers, but just that go-to receiver, that high point guy in the end zone that you feed, it just like really just feels like it's been lacking my whole life, like in the 21st century. There's been some Tommy Quasi was a good player, but just good players. There hasn't been like a college Megatron. Yeah. And I'm not saying that this guy is going to be college Megatron and just redeem us of 25 years of mediocrity at the position, but I think he looks the part more than anyone that I can recall. I should have sent you guys the film because San Jose State does a really good job on their website of like including like their own edited highlights of their better players. Like I was just kind of looking up the guys like just height, weight, bullshit like that, see what he looks like. And right at the bottom. It's not even like a YouTube link. They've got like a San Jose State, no ads. You click on it, and you've got like 5 crystal clear, high quality broadcast clips of this kid making plays. Shout out to the fucking Warriors, man. Is it Warriors?
It's like they're trying to farm.
They're the Spartans.
It's like they're trying to farm their players to bigger programs.
No, right.
Come check out our roster.
Yeah.
Here's their highlight tape.
Hey, we're gonna need you to stop doing. They go to the IT guy or their web design guy. Yeah, dude, we love your passion, but you're actively cannibalizing our roster. Stop doing
Horrible
that.
idea. Horrible idea.
Yeah. I guess we'll stick with these receivers. Aiden Mizell, that's another big name I'm stoked for. Kind of a 4-star, I think.
Yeah, out of Florida.
Out of Florida. Kid's
Speedster,
got
right?
SEC experience. Kid's got fucking wheels. And I love that. I love that we are kind of rounding out the receiver room with, like, attributes. You've got your bruiser in the red zone, the high point guy we just talked about. Now you get this SEC guy who's got like premium speed and can burn a defense with his legs. That's just like that's a dynamic that good teams often have. Landon Ellis, Keon, your boy, another big pickup from JMU.
Fitting that slot real well.
Yeah.
And kind of coming across, yep.
Another part of the team that you can just look at and say, that will be improved.
Yep.
That's just a good fucking feeling because we were in the depths, dude, just like a month ago. You look at UCLA's roster 1 month ago before the portal opened up, and you're like, this is lacking talent.
We mentioned it last week about losing Quasi.
Yeah.
And one thing that you and I mentioned, Ross, was if we can use the money that we were giving Quasi, which was probably pretty sizable, and go and try to replace it in the aggregate and get 4 or 5 guys who can rotate in and you make up that production. And I think that's exactly what Coach Chesney and the staff went and did.
I think they did more than that because I think you look at some of these players. I mean, a lot of them, I don't know if a lot of them, but some of them are coming off of injury. But there's so many receivers they brought in. They definitely exceeded what they would have paid Quasi. Quasi definitely would have commanded a good amount of money. But I think it might just be they've got some decent pockets, bro, because I think they got like 5 receivers. Yeah. And Chesney had made mention that he is going about it real strict and how he's not going to – he's bracketed how much position commands what amount of NIL. So it's not like he's the kind of guy that's just going to be, I want to spend a lot on receivers. Like he has his agenda on where the money's going. So it has to be just maybe we just have the pockets this year for it. I don't fucking know.
Bob Myers.
I think it has to be that and just Chesney's message because when is the last time? I mean, just some of these programs that these people are leaving to come to UCLA, like that's just what is
absolutely
striking me, is Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, South Carolina, like big time SEC programs, big time, programs. One of the receivers I think that's catching my eye is a freshman, Brian Rowe. I mean, he had, I think, 20 plus catches as a freshman.
Kind of a slot guy, is he not? Is he a slot
guy? He's smaller. Yeah, he's smaller. He's a slot guy. But like, I mean, the whole Rico, like, I mean, I feel like since what's his name left? Who was that slot?
Rico Flores.
DTR. No, DTR
Phillips?
days.
Oh,
yeah, Phillips.
Kyle Phillips.
Yeah.
Was Kyle a
Phillips.
true slot? Who was a true slot that I think is so fucking overlooked and was underappreciated was Logan Loya. I loved Logan Loya. Everyone's grandfather loved Logan Loya.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Logan Loya. But I feel like, I mean, he's a freshman too. So like he's a guy that, and I think, we're not just grabbing one and done guys that are going to play for a year. You got guys that can come in and sort of, develop under them and be here for hopefully more than 1 year. Obviously have a successful year and have to re-sign them versus these one and dones.
What's been pretty interesting is that a lot of these guys that we're getting from some of the more higher end programs, like you just mentioned, a lot of them are coming off like a year of injury. But prior to that, we're either really productive or we're like a high school 4-star, like really highly touted kids out of high school. Like, is there risk in that? Like, obviously, like the guy either might not be the same. He might get injured again. Like, you don't know. But to me, what that shows is just like, there's like a strategy at play. Like there's thought behind this. And I know like that means like our bar is in hell for like, what we should be expecting from our coaching staffs coming off the previous 2 administrations. Or do you call it an administration? That feels so present. What do you call it? The previous 2
I think it's
staffs. I think just, that there's clear There's clear like effort into trying things, and like you kind of see that with what Signetti did with getting old dudes and bringing his group of 5 guys.
No 5 stars.
Just like trying something new and not being like, oh well, we don't have the money. So yeah, I think it's encouraging for sure. How about sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just have we talked about, or do we want to talk about Sahir West? I'm sure we do.
Oh, I'm saying let's switch to defense right now.
Yeah, great.
The first guy I had listed, we'll obviously get to Samir, but I just don't want to forget about this guy. Sammy, is it Omasigo? We mentioned
Omasigo?
We mentioned dudes from big level
right.
programs. This is an SEC guy, linebacker from Oklahoma. I mean, dude, I forgot UCLA football players could look like that. Have you seen photos of this person?
Jacked.
Put him in pads and first off the bus. He's the new Femi Oladejo. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care if that guy even knows what the end zone is. Just have him come off the bus and in pads and just break the other team's will just by looking at him. But yeah, real dynamic player with him. Like, he is jacked, but watch some video of him. He's definitely not slow at all. He's like probably 6'1", I think. So like, I wouldn't call him undersized. Also, the last Oklahoma guy that we snatched, because keep in mind, if you go on like Instagram comments, college football Reddit, X, Oklahoma fans they're not happy about this one. Like they're bummed to lose this linebacker. This reminds me of when we snatched Eugene Brooks from them. He had, I think, maybe one. I don't know if he was injured, but he had 1 year at Oklahoma after being either a 4 or 5 star out of high school. UCLA snatches him, and Oklahoma fans were pissed. And now he's hands down our best returning offensive lineman. So,
I mean, rightfully so, because that Oklahoma defense this year was legit.
Yeah,
Like, they were hands down probably one of the best defenses in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was in the thick of it.
Yeah. And moving on to what you could probably call this guy I don't know. I think it's debatable, but a lot of people are going to call this guy the crown jewel of the class so far. None other than Sahir West, the JMU edge that was really kind of that can't lose guy. You know, I feel like we were kind of all in agreement there. Like, if you had to pick one guy that we're going to take from Chesney's playoff team, it's got to be West.
100%. I mean, just looking at this statistic, we obviously could not get to the quarterback one bit last year. We were dead last in the Big Ten in sacks. I mean, we had 10 sacks last year as a team.
I'm shocked to hear that we had 10. We had 10? I almost don't believe you. I thought we probably had like 4.
I looked up.
I think
10 sacks.
Wow.
I could fact check myself.
I almost kind of want you to. 10 just seems way high. That was the worst pass rush I've ever seen in my life. I'm not kidding. I could have gotten to the quarterback more. I'm 5'10", 185 pounds.
I was cracking up at the Nebraska. Who was the edge we just lost in Nebraska? Was Jones?
The guy that kind of had the
lost him in the portal.
Number 15. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Nebraska fans I saw online like, oh, big pickup. UCLA's leading edge rusher last year. I was like, leading? We didn't even tackle the quarterback once last year.
I
what do you mean the leading?
I forget his first name, but number 15 Jones. I think he's actually a decent football player. He's got good size. I think he had some injury problems with his shoulder. So like, wish him the best. But like, yeah, like UCLA should not be griping about losing anybody from that. I don't want to say from the whole front seven. Yeah. I thought John had moments. He tackled pretty well. But, I mean, they can all walk. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah. We had 10 sacks last year. Our leading
1.5.
sacker. 1.5.
1.5. Getting Sahir West was pretty scary because, like, things were quiet there for a second. Like, we weren't hearing any news. Like, we had already kind of started.
Find anything.
We were starting to get some, like, JMU guys. The only things that I did hear was that Ohio State and A&M were involved, and I'm like, oh, he's
deep
gone.
Pockets.
I'm like, he's gone. And, like, that's kind of the best part about Sahir, dude. Like, we're not just filling a gap that's fucked the roster for the last 2 years. Chesney beat out A&M and Ohio State. So, I mean, granted, it was his player last year, but, like, this is the era of the bag, brother. So
yeah, I want to know some of these figures. I really would be curious.
Yeah.
To figure some of these out.
Let me shoot some texts. I don't know.
Get some insider info. No, Keon's got the inside of.
Yeah,
we can just go straight to him.
Exactly.
When are you guys going to go on your you guys gonna go on like a tandem horse ride? Yeehaw.
He's gonna teach me how to rope and ride.
Yeah, I love it. Could have been a cowboy. Another name, another defender that we got this time from another fucking big time program. Do you guys see Maxwell Roy?
Yes.
Defensive tackle. I mean, brother's got lunch lady arms. Another one of those. I think he was there for a season. Was a 4-star. Was injured. I think high ceiling with him. And then we talked about the secondary already. I mean, the secondary last season was already pretty good. And then a couple pickups. I want to say there was the guy from Virginia Tech.
Dante Lovett.
Yep. Good pull, Keon.
Utah. We got Tao Johnson from Utah.
I was going to say,
that was one that we
overlooked.
Missed. Yeah.
That guy, according to PFF, has like the lowest passer rating in coverage.
Yeah. I think he's kind of like a controversial player. I think he's really good in coverage. I think he's had some issues with tackling. But kind of like you love him at moments, and then other times he kind of just like, fuck. But, I mean, just looking at this defense, compare it to the roster from just 1 month ago, and for a third time now, this looks to be improved. We're moving in the right direction. There's depth. This is going to be a much more well-coached team, which is like that obviously cannot be lost in all of this. Like, a lot to be excited here coming out of, day 11 of the transfer portal? Boy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if outside of the positions that we already mentioned, if I have one item on the wish list, and Ross, you and I mentioned this last week, is a tight end. Would love that quarterback friend tight end if we could get somebody like that. I know we got the cat out of JMU, I believe, Josh Pfeiffer, but he's more of a blocking tight end. I'd love a receiving tight end as a bailout option for Nico.
I think there's a chance that might be the way that, and I could be wrong, I think Chesney might kind of utilize tight ends differently from how we're used to at UCLA, which, historically we're a big tight end school, especially in recent memory. Chip Kelly loves his catching tight ends. Deshaun Foster, I don't know what his philosophy is.
I don't know what Deshaun Foster loves.
There's a lot I don't know about Deshaun Foster. But yeah, I mean,
the man's an enigma.
Keon, I would too. I'd like to see, just for the sake of having one. I think kind of having that outlet for a quarterback is always nice. But I think that might be by intention, that's just kind of a tight end that Chesney knows. He used him in that way last year, predominantly as a run blocker, so that might just be by design. I don't know. But hey, if St. Francis legend Greg Dulcich can come back and where is he now? He's playing well, I think, for the Dolphins.
He's playing.
Hell yeah.
Well, might be in Cancun. But.
I know he tunes in. Hey, Greg.
I was with him in Cancun, bro.
All right.
In a Head and Shoulders ad.
Yeah. Well, he really should be.
Really excited to bring Mateen back. I don't know. Something that.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Mateen is back.
Big shout.
Yeah. Him and
went into the portal.
Him and the long snapper. They're a package duo. But no, I mean, kickers get a lot of shit. Bagani might be one of the best kickers in the country next year. He definitely had less than 5 misses last year, maybe less than 3.
Yeah.
I was just about to Google. Oh, Mateen Bagani did not miss the last football season.
That's not true. That's why I don't trust this shit, dude. Sometimes it fucking whiffs. I was fixing what was I doing? Sorry, I know there's a siren in the back. I was trying to get the bolt that contains the oil filter on my motorcycle. Trying to remove that. I asked ChatGPT, what millimeter socket do I need to remove? Like, let's call it a slightly bigger. Let's call it like a quarter size bolt. It said you need like a 66 millimeter. Well, I'm like if I didn't know what I was doing and I just called a hardware store and I was like, hey, I need a 66 millimeter socket. They're like, are you working on like the space shuttle? Like, what the fuck? So yeah,
I feel like ChatGPT can't be used for blue collar activities. I feel like it's more of a
coming for our jobs.
Well, hey, it can't get simple statistics like how many kicks did Mateen Bagani miss. So like, what is it good for?
He missed 4.
He missed 4. Yeah.
Okay, I said less than 5.
No extra points missed.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I googled Mateen Bagani. The first picture that comes up is Deshaun Foster.
Anyways, there's yet another article. I don't know if you guys saw it about the on-campus stadium shit. Did you guys get a chance to read that?
I read Ben Bolch's response to it.
Yeah, way to fucking God, way to be a buzzkill, Ben. This time it was an op-ed. What does op-ed stand for? Opposing.
It's like an opinion.
Yeah.
Opinion editorial, something like that.
It was. I think you're right. It was through the Daily Bruin by like some alumni who's a lawyer. Basically, what he was saying was like, everyone always claims that this is because the residents won't allow it, and he's like, who gives a fuck about the residents? They don't have a say in anything. And I was reading this like, dude, give me a hard hat. Let's break ground tomorrow. And then Ben Bolch comes out like, I think it was like 2 days later, and he's like, no. Wow, what the fuck is good? Did you guys hear that?
Was that a meow?
No, it was a fire truck horn. Close though, Keon. I think there might be a building on fire outside.
Did Ross quietly meow into the mic?
Yeah, dude. So apparently, UCLA football stadium can't be built. Meow. Well, I feel like we've already kind of beaten to death the stadium thing on this show. Basically, all I was saying is that there are people out there that think that we can just bypass the residents altogether. Ben Bolch and his sources don't think that that's at all correct. They did cite, however, the federal building at the end of it.
Interesting.
And that's kind of been my
similar to what you mentioned, Ross.
Yeah, I was like, Drake Stadium's never gonna fucking happen. No shot. You're literally on the doorstep of the people that have been allegedly making this impossible for 70 years now. And why don't we look opposite end of campus? Let's go south. And I think the place that I said it should happen was literally like across the street from where Ben Bolch's guy, who was, I want to say Ben Bolch's guy that he was quoting was like a former assistant to the chancellor. So the guy obviously like knows his shit. So I think just the fact that he mentioned that, I'm like, He said like if it ever goes up for sale, I keep an eye out. Yeah. I'm like, okay, how much does it cost? Let me check my accounts.
I wonder if you could fit. I mean,
donate from the SBS fund to buy the federal building.
Hold on, we're liquidating the SBS funds from the T-shirt drive. It's going to be Supreme Victory Stadium presented by Onyx. All right, putting a bow on that. What else you guys want to talk about? Anything else? That's all I had. Basketball won a game.
Did you guys hear that the UCLA Maryland game comes in as the 5th most watched college basketball game ever on Fox at 2.86 million viewers?
I saw that. How is that possible?
No, you're lying. That's
well, you know what was on before it?
What?
It was the Rams-Panthers game.
Oh, so people just didn't change the channel?
People went out and went drinking and left their TVs on.
This graphic, Fox posted this graphic like it was some huge thing to be proud of. I replied, random as fuck, but probably most likely because the Rams-Panthers was directly before this on Fox.
I would kill to know what numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are. I bet you there's some the most high-profile games of all time.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's called. They said basketball games on Fox, right?
Yeah, the 5th most watched college basketball game.
I'm saying 1 through 4, and then 6 through 10 are all probably number 1 Duke versus number 2 North Carolina, and then you've got a real clash of the titans of unranked UCLA versus last of the Big Ten Maryland.
And it's a picture of Trent Perry.
Oh, I fucking love it, dude. That's good.
Gus Johnson on the call.
Yeah, that was surprising. I think the next time we do, because there's just too much fun shit to talk about with football right now, and too much depression surrounding basketball. Next time we do a deep dive into basketball, Ethan says he's down to come back on. I think we need his.
That'd be great.
I think Kyle, you and him going back and forth would do a lot for our basketball listeners. I certainly can't provide it. All I can say is that I hate it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
No, it's not. No. But it's not even a funny bad. Chargers are funny bad. UCLA basketball is funeral bad.
It's because of just, we're currently first 4 or out. We're not in the tournament currently.
Nice.
And just the expectations that we're coming into this season, I don't think we're ever getting. I don't even know if Donovan Dent was really Donovan Dent. Not to get too into these things, but yeah, it's a numb watch at the moment. It's a very it's a depressing feeling.
Put Donovan Dent's agent on the Mount Rushmore of agents next to Kirk Cousins' agent for totally, getting whatever he got out of UCLA, but also creating a bidding war between Kentucky and UCLA.
Yep.
For
11 points a game and 6 assists. or whatever it is. I don't know if that's actually.
We had too much fun talking the transfer portal to let this take the wind out of our sails, boys.
Yep.
Come on, save it for the next episode. So we're done. Okay, I'm pulling the plug on it. To those that continue to tune in, thank you guys as always. What I want to do is actually kind of dip our toes back into the hotline. I think as this transfer portal thing gets finalized, maybe some expectations, some record predictions, taking a look at the schedule. I think that could be a good excuse to fire up the hotline once again. So keep an eye out for that on Instagram and Twitter. I'm sure you follow both of them, but if you don't, go follow the Secret Bruin Society on Instagram. And I don't know what our handle is, but find us on Twitter somehow. We tweet a lot. And yeah, we love you guys. Go Bruins, and we'll catch you next week.